All right, are we ready for part 3? I'm still in the book. Okay. These are poems I wrote. I've used numerous aliases over the year. I think I actually have something published under cryptogirl. I just can't remember where or what it was. I've had some other aliases, Natural Springs, Annie Mullins, Where's Focus, and there was another one I can't remember now. Back then it didn't matter. It was just about writing. Writing wasn't that important to me. It was just something I did. Someone said, hey, publish it. Hey, why not? You know. And I never looked for money because my mother always told me I'd never make a living as a writer. So it's like, okay, then I'll just write, you know. You might be able to shut me up like this, but you'll never be able to shut me up like this. I love America. This one's called Roller Coaster Ride, and it's totally metaphoric. Okay? So if you try and take this literally, it'll seem like a very boring poem. But if you just think of it metaphorically for life, you'll get it. Brother dear, hold on tightly. This roller coaster's steep. It takes a minute to reach the top, but one wrong turn sends you back down too quickly. So make sure your harness is snug and you won't fall out when suddenly everything is turned upside down. And you will have enough momentum to climb the next hill. It may not be so high, or it may be higher. Just remember, every action has an equally opposite reaction. I'll be with you through the end. I have another brother poem. I don't think it's on here. I think it's in a different book. But, okay, I know I wasn't going to do any more from memory, but here, I know this one. At the time, my brother had just finished basic training in the Navy. Now he's a Marine, and this was like over 10 years ago. Probably getting close to 15. I don't know. Okay. Out there on the water is a sailor. That sailor, he is a soldier too. The soldier, he is my brother, defending what belongs to me and you. He's keeping freedom for our children so they might have the chance to grow. And he gives of himself daily, maybe even more than he knows. Out there on the water is a boy to whom life has never been kind. But instead of seeking his deserving rewards, he stands a man defending mine. Alright. And for my brother's protection and privacy, I'm not going to tell you the name of that poem because it kind of reveals who he is. Anyway, this one's kind of corny, but it was written during a time that I was always hanging out with my friends playing cards, and one of our favorite games was spoons. Well, one of my not so brilliant friends decided to use pins one time, and we ended up nearly stabbing each other with them. But anyway, we spelled out pins instead of spoons. A deck of cards and a group of friends, throw in some spoons or a couple pins. Gather in a circle and deal the deal. When it is over, ask if it's for real. If the answer is yes, then open your eyes, or you could be in for a big surprise. You win some, you lose some, but afterwards you talk about the fun you had playing cards. Now, I told you I had some dark poems in here too. I'm going to read some of the dark ones for a minute. I'm not going to get too bogged down in it, just so that you can see. Been there, done that. And I think I was around 17, 18 when I wrote these. I don't know. The dates aren't on this. The dates are only on the originals. I'm not sure I even have those anymore. I am born of the deepest, darkest pits of hell. Nobody wants me around. I'm an evil jinx on all who would be good. Hatred fills my empty heart. if it even really exists. Hatred fills the air I breathe, assuming I exist. I did have this theory once, that I wasn't real. Seems silly now, but back then I was dead serious. I really thought that maybe I was just someone's figment of their imagination. I am the devil, a fallen angel, true, who is dropped from your supposed love. Evil in the heart. Hatred corrupts a once clean soul. It beds unknown evils. The least desirables of a clean soul become passions of hatred. I don't know, I just thought vampire as I was reading it. Love is disposed and life loses its spice. Hatred kills! Be not murdered. Destroy hatred. Then one can love. No. So we go from evil and hatred to love me gently. When I'm crying, wipe my tears, chase away my every fear. Hold me closely, hold me tight, love me gently through the night. If you rock me till I sleep, do not wake me lest I weep. Then surely you will see just how much you mean to me. Actually, I changed the words on here, and I'm not sure why, but I like the original words better. It was just a corny, sweet little thing. I went through my period where I attempted to learn what romance was and be more romantic. I think that was one of my my one ex-boyfriend's biggest complaint. He's like, how did I get to be this old without knowing what romance was? Well, not everyone's life was filled with, Hershey Kisses and peanut butter cups. This is called Nothing. If nothing else matters, then neither do I. So tell me what gives you the right to cry. If it is all over and the end is here and nothing else matters, then what do you fear? You lived your life, but now your heart's shattered, but that's what you got when no one else mattered. You had a family and a place to call home. You said it didn't matter and left me alone. If nothing else matters, then neither do I. So then you won't miss me or return when I die. And actually, I was quite young when I wrote that one. I'm not real sure. Early teenage years. And I don't remember the exact circumstances. This is one of those crazy things where just writing helped me deal with whatever was going on at the time. I think that may have been one of those times when my mother dumped me somewhere. She did that a couple times. Grocery store, library. I don't know. In the end, I wasn't even living with her when I moved in with my dad. I was staying with someone who was totally not related. Oh, this one I wrote. Gosh, I wrote that one for somebody else. Here's the one about my cat. Remember I told you I had one about my cat and then my mind went blank and I couldn't remember what it was. My sunshine. She was the sunshine of my life. I raised her from a little thing. I loved her and she loved me back. Together for years we were living. I was 13 when I wrote this. Okay. Now she probably hates me if she is still alive. I left her to live another life. So very sorry was I. I would have brought her with me if I had thought I could. I wish she was with me now because I miss her more than I knew I would. I hope today my sunshine is happy and I hope she is doing well. I wish she knew how much I still miss her and how I always will. Actually, my cat Sunshine went into a severe depression and later died. So, yeah. I don't own cats anymore. I cat sit, but I don't own cats. And my son's allergic. Okay, and then this one, I really like this one. I must have been particularly articulate and clear-minded when I wrote it, but see if I can get it in here. When does a house become a home, or does it ever really? How do you know where you belong, especially when you're prone to making choices that are wrong? Is home where you were born, or where your most important lessons were learned, or can it just be that empty space on the puzzle waiting for your peace. Waiting for your peace. Is that where your home is? Where you lie your head at night, or where you rest your heart just right? Not everybody has a home. Not everybody has a house, but surely we can all go home. Even the homeless nomads have homeland or origins. Is home where you live now, where you will watch your children grow, or is it where you lost yourself? Identity, heart, and soul. Once again, I did some revisions there that I'm kind of wishing maybe I shouldn't have done. I think that's what stumped me up on some of it. It didn't flow quite right because I changed something. But I can't remember how it went originally. I don't know. I have to think about that. I went through a period when I sat there and revised everything, and that was a few years back. I figured, I guess I wasn't writing anymore, so I would just revise. And this is going to go too long, so I'm going to have to go do a bunch of fancy footwork to get it to load up. But I just want to get that poem in there, because I still don't know the answer to that question. I still don't have a home. You know, on Facebook it says hometown. It will only let you put in one place for your hometown. So if we can only have one hometown, I have no idea how to determine what my hometown is, because it has a different spot for the place I currently live. Okay, so it's not where I live now. Is my hometown where I was born? I don't remember anything about that. Is it where my most important lessons were learned? And then how do I determine which ones were the most important? Or is it the spot where I spent the greatest deal of time? I mean, I've never stayed in the same place that long. I've always been nomadic. The longest I've stayed in the same structure would be about 3 years. The longest I've stayed in the same city would be about 5 years. And the longest I've stayed in the same state, non-consecutively, 9 years. Consecutively, 8 years, I think. Those were different states. Unless we're talking about the state of confusion. And, well, I've been there my whole life. So, I'm not sure. I would like to have a place that I could really feel that I could call home, but I'm not sure what determines that. I mean, Columbus always felt like home, so coming back to Columbus was like coming home. But some people would argue that my home is in Texas, but I dread going there. And others would argue that my home should be wherever I made a home. And for me, home's a temporary term. This world is not my home. I'll be home when Jesus calls me home. And I'm not sure if heaven's an option that Facebook will accept. So, until later, this is Crypto Girl. See you when I get home.